She move her body like a shaman. All in my head, so much in common. Just say that word, baby, I'm on it. If this ain't love, then I don't want it. She move her body like a shaman.
Hi, welcome to Culture Healing. So I am so psyched about this podcast today. So I have watched this sister on Crumb. This is how I became aware of her, and I love the stuff that she says on Crumb, right? And I thought that it would have been such a good idea to bring her here today to talk about the divine feminine and just to get both of her perspective and be able to bring back the womanhood and the love within women in general, because as you guys know, I am very passionate about women and men, but we do not get along. We as women do not get along. So I wanted to bring light onto that and then be able to see if we can find a solution to be able to get back that sisterhood that we've lost. So welcome. Please tell them who you are.
Thank you. Peace, everybody. Wholeness. My name is Jillian, or I'm affectionately known as the Odd Octopus. And basically, I'm like everyone else, you know what I'm saying? Just began to realize that something was wrong and that there are a myriad of ways that I could affect my healing and my movement through this matrix. And so I began my journey probably about 6 to 7 years ago. And I've just been continuing on my path since then. And one of the things that I've learned is that, you know, it's very important that we listen to our own voice. It's really, really important, especially with all the information that is being put out. It's good to listen to others, but we need to make sure that we honor our own voice. And so I'm affectionately known as Odd Octopus because I began to share with my audience on YouTube and Facebook mostly, and Instagram, that I was experiencing what felt like the sensation of an octopus above my head. And as weird as it sounds, I found so many connections, even in regards to like a plasmoid shaped like an octopus, and it was just an electromagnetic field that I had access to all the time via my sensations. The more that I listened to that, the more that I followed what my truth was, is the more I just began to unveil more and more and more truth and more power and more peace. It's just peace. And that's priceless, especially right now as we can see with everything that's going on. Peace is priceless.
Yes, I agree with you. So in terms of us as a woman, what was your experience before you found peace? Have you had any?
I'm sorry, you said what was my experience as a woman?
Yeah, as a woman with other females, what was your experience in that dynamic and what have you learned?
Well, to be honest, I think there was probably some part of my voice that was active before this because I didn't fall into the feelings of a lot of hating on other women, jealousy per se, unless, and I want to make sure that I voiced this properly, unless there was a part of myself that I did not properly, and there was something that was shown to me as a trigger, maybe from a partner, that would make me feel jealous or something of the sort. But again, in so much of my journey, I found that my power lies in accountability. So much that a partner could make me jealous. It was more that there was a part of myself that was not healed or that I did not, and that I was looking at another woman and feeling jealousy because I had not arrived yet to the part that is okay. And because another woman is beautiful, make me ugly, it is beautiful as well.
Exactly.
And so when I mean like by peace, by really sticking in my accountability, I found that the things that knock us off our square that we feel. It's funny because I was going into my work this morning about triggers, and it's so funny that we think that another person makes us feel a certain way, but that is our own chemicals. That's our
Mm.
own body chemistry,
Yes.
which means that it's inside of us, and therefore ultimately we're responsible for it.
Exactly. And it's
It's like,
your feeling. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yes, yeah. Not that those feelings are right or wrong, they
Mm.
are signals. They are direction signs. You know what I mean? So when I do find that I have gotten a trigger, I look deep into myself and not the other person. Like,
Yeah.
what is it that you know what I'm saying? What is it that this
Mhm.
trigger of
Mhm.
the person caused me to feel? Why?
Yeah.
And generally, what I something based in my subconscious, generally probably programmed from when I was a child,
Yes.
literally.
Mm-hmm.
Can pin I go in and I begin to program. I mean, I've said this before. I've done a lot of sacred medicine journeys.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was, and that is a sacred plant that literally assists you. I'll say they won't do the
What
work
is the
for you,
name?
but it
Has
will
it
definitely.
got?
Ayahuasca.
Oh, ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Okay.
Yes, it's AYAHUAS as in Sam, C as in cat, ayahuasca. And
Okay.
I've definitely had the opportunity to begin working with these plant medicines, and it's amazing. But
Mm.
again, you have to be doing the inner work along with it. I think
Yes.
for you to have the complete benefit.
And what about
And one of the
eating
things,
too? You have to eat clean as well.
well, yes, okay. So I'll say this:
Mm-hmm.
the diet. Generally, when we're beginning this, right, there are some
Mm-hmm.
people who have when they start off on their journey,
Journey.
they cut vegetarian or vegan, and then some
Mm-hmm.
people end up back based on
Mm-hmm.
what they feel their body needs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a food see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling anybody else what they should eat, but for me personally, I did have to detox off of meat for quite some time because sensitivity was that I could pick up the stress hormones in the animal, right, that they release when they're dying. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
us are walking around that aren't even ours, and
Yes. Yes.
aren't we haven't learned yet to signify which emotions are ours and which emotions are of something else.
Yes.
So it can be very difficult. So literally, I did that for quite some time until I was balanced. So now it's meat every once in a while, mostly seafood and
Mm-hmm.
lots of fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting that you asked that, right? Because the more that lately I've been studying quantum physics,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so interesting. It's like, oh my goodness. So from what I'm understanding is that there are a lot of free radicals, right, that are around. We can pick up free radicals a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of talk with people lately about coming into the auric field of someone who's toxic or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. It's rained. Sometimes we get around people and we just start feeling tired. And it's like,
Right.
yo, where did that come from?
Right.
From what I've been studying and what I've been understanding is that if we entangle with somebody who is full of free radicals,
Mm.
what it will do is actually it's almost stealing the electron from from our atom,
Mm-hmm.
and then our body begins to turn itself. And this is why your body will actually know when you're around something that isn't good for you before your
Yes.
brain might actually.
AKA
You'll
what people
feel
may
it in the
call
body.
intuition. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's intuition is part of the divine feminine. That's a perfect tie-in. The
Mm-hmm.
divine feminine is like your empathy, your connectivity to everything, um, your ability to feel comfortable and self-love
Yeah.
and feel that it's okay.
Ah.
So
Wait, I just want to stick
so
on
I'll
that. I think, right, before I get there,
okay.
I think you are hearing me on delay. So that's how it's going to be going. I think it's like a 3 second delay that you're hearing me.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
it's delayed. Right. I just want to stick in that. You said that the define the. I'm not quoting it correctly, but you can. It. You have that natural self love. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful, and I would love it. Just please do not forget anything that you were saying. I would love it if you can tell them, because a lot of women feel like they can't self love. They have. That's what we've been taught, to depend on another being for us to feel love. Yeah. And I wanted to know how, like explain to them that you do not need another. You can definitely love you enough to just be you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I had to really begin to experience that for myself. There was actually a bunch of circumstances and situations that kind of led me here, but it was almost as though I was giving away so much love and putting the blame of what I wasn't feeling for myself on other people. And what that is generally a lack of control in self. So we want to control everybody else. And it's interesting. It's like the more that you act, the more that I found in my personal experience, the more that I self-love, the more that I would take whatever the circumstance or situation was and take what I was learning, pour it back into myself. It's almost, I became more attractive. You know what I mean? It's like people find that attractive. They find you working in power. They find you working in self-love. It's attractive. And I mean, I remember like when I was in a specific relationship and I wasn't working from that. See how unattractive that might have been because you become so needy, right? And so clingy.
Yes.
Because what you're not attempting to give yourself, you're looking for someone else to fill. And think about that the pressure that you could be with somebody to try to fill the void that you have within yourself.
That's a lot. Yeah, because the pressure alone is, and then to think about that person not knowing who they are, and then you want them to then tell you who you are and love you in a way that you didn't even know you want to be loved. It's like, it's so off balance, right?
Yes, absolutely. So it's funny. It's like the same things that I wanted a lover or partner to do, I began to do for myself. If I wanted flowers, I would go buy them. You know, I gave myself the self-love and the pampering that I wanted to experience. And then unless did I find that I was in the need for someone else to do that. But I would enjoy if it was done by another, absolutely. But I was not in a need for it.
Thank you.
And I'm not in a need for it. It's so freeing. It's so I feel like I'm a better lover, a better person. Don't like my energy is always full. I'm always on full. So I'm not allowing myself to be strained, purposely trying to do things for other people with
intention of receiving.
Exactly. Exactly. As a matter of fact, I had an interesting experience happen a few days ago. Family members gifted another family member with something, and their response or reaction wasn't what
they should have done.
Thought it should be. And they messaged me and they say, "You're really hurt by their response." And I asked her, and she was like, "Because I was just expecting," and I was like, "That's what it is. You're expecting." I was like, once I give something to somebody, that's it. I know the intention that I gave it from my heart and myself. What you think is really based on whatever you got going on over there.
Yes, man. Yes.
It has nothing to do with me. I felt, okay, I gave it. This is how I meant it. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I let it go. And that's a thing of the divine feminine. It's the flow. It's not in anything. It's being able to flow a man that is, again, so freeing and puts you at peace.
Yes, it does.
It's
And I can
experienced this peace before in my life. I'm just like, oh my goodness.
I
What was
can
I
agree
doing
with
all these
you.
years?
Right? Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. And I have been free, I should say, for the last year and a half,
Mm,
right? And let me tell
Awesome.
you the exact feeling, like goosebumps, right? It's so amazing that you need not worry
Yes.
about anything. You know what I mean? Like you understand your life, your journey, you understand every atom and the cosmos and every single thing around you. You realize that you don't need to worry about your future because if it's so that you want that future, it becomes yours. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It doesn't you need not to worry that
Yes.
maybe if whatever. There is no maybe when you are sure about who you are and what you want. You know what I mean? Somebody asked
Absolutely.
me, I did a live with a guy a few days ago, and he asked me, so if your boyfriend decided, it was a topic on polyamory, right? And he asked me,
Mm,
if your boyfriend decided to like another girl more than you, how would you feel? And I'm like, that has nothing to do with me. It is all his feeling. If he decides to like her more, I can't do anything about that. That is entirely up to him, right? And that is what I try to show
yeah.
people. You are trying to control another being's emotion and action. That is their life. That's their road. You control you, and that is it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But there's so much power in controlling you. There's so
Hmm.
much power.
Yeah.
It's like leaving your ability
Mhm.
to feel a specific way up to everything else externally.
Mhm.
But again, it's goals. So
Mm.
it's funny, this journey has taken me down so many roads. When it says know thyself, that
Mm.
became really deep for me.
Yeah.
Self on a cellular level, self on an emotional level, understanding what I needed physically, understanding what I needed spiritually.
Mm.
All of these things come back to the flow of knowing thyself. And once
Mm.
you really do, like you said, the power is there, and you can work from that space of power and not feeling
Yes.
powerless time.
Mhm.
Um, and it again, a lot of that is programming, right?
Yeah.
Uh, we have definitely been, I feel like, programmed to feel like our choice, whether
Mhm.
we're happy or not, is depending on external
Yes.
things.
Yes.
But happiness is an inside period.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, and it, I always use the example of like Robin Williams,
Mm.
someone who made so many other people laugh,
And healing.
had basically all the materialistic things that one could
Mhm.
possibly ask for, fortune, and still was not able to
Happy.
find
Happiness.
happiness.
Yeah.
So I mean that shows it can't be in material things. It
Mhm.
can't be in all those things
You
that
gotta
we're
be with him.
externally needing to
Yes.
make us happy.
Mhm.
Sometimes I think people find it think, oh, once I get this, and this, then I'll be
So
happy.
yeah.
No, you won't. You
Mm.
that what now it'll be something else until you finally decide
Yeah.
that you're going to turn inward
Mhm.
and make the decision.
Yeah. And kids are the
So it's
perfect. What? Oh, sorry, did delay again.
no,
I
go ahead.
thought you paused. Right. No, I was saying that kids are the perfect example of what you just said. When you give a child a Christmas present, they are extremely excited about that for at least a week. And then afterwards they don't know where it is, they don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Perfect example. Hmm.
absolutely. You know what? The divine feminine is also the ability to be receptive,
Mm.
right? So receptive to the fact that it is within our own power to
Mhm.
establish
Mhm.
how we want.
Mhm.
And that was things that I started off was like, well, how do I want to feel?
Mhm.
And what is it that I could do? Whether it's something I have to continuously do every day or something to change to ensure that I feel a specific way,
Mhm.
right? Not have that altered
Mhm.
or or moved by the next person.
Mhm.
And one of the things began to do, which I found which was really powerful, was Trataka, which is like a focus exercise, right? Because growing up in school, tell me focus, concentrate, and I would like squint my eyes or something, pretending, you know what I mean? But my mind was just everywhere.
Confused,
So
yeah.
top is staring at a naked white candle in a dark space. I do it in my bathroom, right? For like 4 seconds. And then you turn away, and the image of the candle is going to be in your mind's eye. It'll be smoke, drum red or green, and you'll see it. You'll see it start to dissipate the same way like a regular candle would flicker. And once it goes away, you turn back and you stare at the candle again for 40 seconds. You can do it for a total of 15 minutes every day. And literally, this was strengthening my focus. So once I got up in the morning and I began to put my focus on what my day was going to be like, I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to have a full day. I'm going to experience this, this, and this today. Then whether something came trying to alter my peace or whatnot, I was not focused on that. I was like, okay, it's just, but I still have it within my power to feel good today. I still have it within my to walk around feeling happy. It was my focus. And that's one of the main things why there's so much on TV. There's so much information. There's so much social media. There's so much going on all the time because it's meant to steal your focus.
Right.
It's meant to make you feel like all the advertisements is meant to make you feel like you need better clothes, you need better tools, better technology,
better
relationship.
relationship. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. All we need is a better relationship with ourselves, our higher self. And then that's it.
Yeah. And
that's
is
it.
completely
Everything falls in line. Yeah.
And you find that you
Absolutely.
are not focused on the unnecessary things of the world. Like seriously, everything becomes nothing to you. You know what I mean? You in a relationship, but you're not worried about the relationship. You're not in a relationship, but you're not worried that you're lonely. You know what I mean? Everything is basically how you perceive it and how you decide that you want to feel, because that is your decision. Understand? You decide how you're going to be today, and that's about it. There's, if someone do offset you, believe it or not, you actually allow that person to offset you. That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the accountability. That's the claiming the power. It's interesting you said that, because there's a statement that I use, right? Because me and one of my best friends, we were talking about perception, because perception is used all the time. I was like, okay, if I'm feeling this way, I can shift my perception to see what is it that I'm supposed to be learning from this? What is it I can actually use from this and grow from this? I can use it to see how I've grown, and that is perception places power. It's something that I use so much. It's perception places power. So I can and pay attention and focus on all the negative things that are going on around me, or I can shift my perception and see that every time I step outside, butterflies come to greet me. I can change my perception. You know what? I've been gifted another day, and this is another day I get to create. I get to live in my truth. I get to I'm
do this
safe.
again.
I'm yes. So once I began to shift my perception, right, and it's kind of like the ideology, like when we buy a new car, right? All of us, or we begin to even look for a car. All of a sudden, that same see it everywhere. Did so many people buy this car because you did, or is it now that your brain is tuned and focused to that? Now you're when you is it really more, or is it that we're just focused on the fact that it's more? So when I began to focus my brain to see more of amazing things, I began to see them. So that tied me into gratitude, and to be grateful for it. This thing where I say, all the universe does is say yes. You know what I mean? So we might not consciously be
aware
thinking that we ask, but we might be subconsciously, it might be something from that program behavior from when we was a child. So
Yes.
again, it's going back to these things. So as I began to program myself that women are here for my cooperation and all we do is make each other better and she's not my
Yes.
competition, I experience that now. I don't even
Good.
experience the paradigm anymore of that nonsense. I just
Yes.
don't.
Agree. Agree with
I just
you.
don't.
Because
Yeah, I'm not looking for it, so I don't see it.
exactly,
You know,
you
somebody
shift your
like I had
perspective.
people tell me like, "Didn't you see how she was?" No,
No.
no, because
Agree with you. I agree with you.
I didn't see experience that paradigm because it's
Boom.
like choice. Our
Mm-hmm.
our will constantly remain choice.
Yeah. And that is it. Because
You know,
here, the I know it's everywhere, but I'm speaking about here in the Caribbean, especially where I come from in Guyana, which is in South America. The women there are have this thing where they're very toxic and they tend to talk about you or them are going to be the best of friends in the world. And when you leave, the neighbor is going to know what you guys spoke about, right? And growing up, seeing your mother and your grandmother do that same exact thing with other people, you are then cautious, not just because she's a relative, but just in general of other women because you have grown up not trusting females because you feel all females are the same, right? And then that grow in a dynamic where the relationship is bad. And the same thing where a woman may see something that another female have and be like, you know what? I want to strive for that. I admire that queen for this. She's gonna be like, I want what she has and go after exactly what she have, especially if she's in a relationship. And I grew up seeing that dynamic. So now today in this moment, if I am to approach any female out there after changing, right, I realized that I am not met with the same defense mechanism like I used to before because my energy is vibrating different. So her energy do not feel my energy as a threat. So I find that I'm able to have women open to me and become themselves around me. And I truly, truly am grateful for be able to exude in that type of vibration. But before I became that vibration, even though I may not have had the trait that I wanted to have what you had, I still may have also had where I'm jealous of you type of energy. And then with that, I am met with a defensive woman who isn't able to let her guard down.
mhm,
So I'm trying to let
mhm,
people understand that even though you may think, hey, she don't like me, she always treating me that way, it is because you are vibrating that energy. It has.
absolutely.
Go ahead, take it away, take it away.
Okay, so right there's again, so knowing ourselves, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I begin into what we call mirror neurons of the
Yeah.
brain. And mirror neurons are so fire because it's exactly what you were explaining.
Mm-hmm.
Once you vibrate something, you got that return back as a mirror to you, right? Give me a second, guys. So it's so interesting. I've had the experience right where people will be like, I don't want to go there because when I go there, this is what's gonna happen, and people is gonna da 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 da.
Right.
And then they go there, and then it
Mhm.
happens, and they're like, see, I told you. But that's the energy you brought. And so it's the same way. Like we've been in a room before talking to somebody else, and someone walks in the room, and it's like everybody stops talking and they look. That's how strong energy is.
Yes.
You know, that's how we can pick up on stuff without us having to say a word. Again, that's the empathy, right? That's the
Mhm.
intuitions. Not sometimes, all the time. People can feel what you're vibrating off.
Mhm.
Just because you can see something doesn't mean that they
Doesn't
didn't pick
mean
it up and feel it. This is how
yes.
we are. So again, uh, just as you were saying, once I began vibrating specific energy, I mirrored that
Yeah.
all day long. You
Mhm.
know, once I love myself.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, like the admiration and the love that I receive. But still, right? So
Yes.
it's to make sure that you validation cycle.
Right.
So I'm appreciative of that. I'm grateful for it, but I also don't base how I feel or what I
On
do
that.
based on the response. Because again, right, I'm speaking, I'm talking, I'm just being myself, but whatever's going on in your auric field or whoever
Mhm.
the person's auric field, take that and interpret it how they want. And
Yeah.
this is why communication is so funny because I
Yes.
can say XYZ and
Mhm.
you hear BD
It is
and you
boom.
and I'm like, what? I didn't say that. That's based on the person. That's
Yes.
based on the person's auric, their
Mhm.
experiences, how are to be able to really hear what it is that you're saying. It's always going through these energetic fields. So
Yes.
you know you can open up yourself to say, okay, am I hearing what the person is really trying to tell me, or am I interpreting that? It's
Mhm.
it's funny,
Questions.
I've seen a couple. Yes,
No, go ahead. I was just saying questions. People
I've
just question things. Don't think. Just
yeah,
question it. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
couple. I've seen a couple having a conversation, and the two of them are talking about two completely different things. It's crazy. It's like, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, yo, they're not hearing what the other person is saying at all
Right.
because it's just okay. I
Mhm.
need to, and again, so that's how we into that. When you need another, like for instance, right now, I'm watching a really like these different paradigms. Right, I love
Mhm.
observing.
Mhm.
I just I love because I learned so much, especially about myself, with what I
Yes.
observe. But right, I kind of stopped going to social media a lot
Mhm.
because right now, timeline, I was seeing a lot of people where they're like, you see, nobody wanted to listen to me, and da 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 da. And it's
I
like,
got you. It's okay, boo.
I'm pretty sure there
Mhm.
are quite a few people listening to you, but you're focused on some people who aren't.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
like even with us,
Mhm.
I didn't realize, how people would really be affected when I did the interview with Crumb. I just
Oh,
did it from my heart and I let it go.
I
And
got
it's like,
you.
whatever happens now, was everyone affected positively? No, but that's fine. That has nothing to do with
That's
me. I just put
exactly.
the energy and truth out there,
Mm.
and I've made amazing connections for myself.
Yes.
So,
Let,
you know what I'm saying? It's just working from our truth
yeah.
and being able to comfortable in the space of who we truly are.
Yeah. And that is what I love about when you visit Crown, right? And do your lives. Like, I feel the authenticity of what you are saying and just the energy. Like the last interview you had with him when you were in the circle and they take you to that meditation and you just unshed. Like I was there in the chair watching, like I felt like I was there. I cried. I experienced it like I was there with you. It was so extremely
That's amazing.
amazing. It was so good. So you do have a
Thank you
point.
so
You have a point. Like if you're going to let your clear energy off, let it off. The people who are supposed to feel this energy is gonna feel it. And let me tell you. And then my boyfriend watched it after I watched it a few days later, and he is there on the television and he's watching you, and I could see the same, or I could feel the same feeling I felt when you were speaking about your experience. And when he's done, he's like, "You've got to watch this." I'm like, "I already did." It was so good. It
well,
was
thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm grateful. And you know what? It's like I've again that peace and freeness that I've experienced from
Mm.
and the power, like you said, of authenticity.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's so
oh
beautiful.
man. And we feel more and more comfortable to do that the more we love ourselves.
Yes.
The more we
Mhm.
love ourselves, we're comfortable with who we are.
Mhm.
We don't tailor things based on, who's gonna like it or
Mhm.
who's you cannot please all of the
People.
time. But
Yes.
again, I've realized that what I've been doing is tapping into an energetic grid.
Mm.
So everybody else, I see them as a mirror of myself.
Mm.
Instead of seeing and oh, they're doing this and they're doing that. It's like the more I began to honor and love myself, I began to experience that energy back. When I didn't love myself, the funny part about it is I didn't know I didn't love myself, you know. It's not
Mm.
something I was
You're
like
aware of.
justly walking around. Well, I don't love myself. It's like I was doing things out in certain behaviors from a place of non-self-love. And what it did was connect me to people who had certain behaviors who were mirroring that back to me. So at first there was anger and there was so much hurt and so much like tears because I'm like, I'm love to this person and these people, and why am I not getting it back? I'm not getting it back because I wasn't giving it to myself.
Oh,
All they were doing was mirroring it to me.
yes.
They were just being who they were.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had one time they were like, trust me, right? And we used to argue back and forth. Oh my God, I used to be like, well, how can I trust you when this, and this, and then this, and that?
Right.
And after I had this like
Yeah.
energy to wake up, I realized I trust everyone. I trust you to be who you are.
Right. I like it.
I trust you who you are. I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to trust you. And that what that does, it's like almost nullifying your experience with them, right? And this the come in tune with your divine feminine, your self-love. It's like you can't be manipulated. I
Right.
promise you. The intuition is
So
strong. Is so strong. It's like I'm telling you, it's amazing, and it's not like the divine masculine isn't powerful. We need both those energies, and these energies isn't empowered. This is not a woman soul. This is not, you know what I'm saying, something that a man is locked out of. I find that I'm actually even experiencing powerful things now with divine masculine, whether they be platonic or sexual. It's extremely, man, it's amazing. Energies will work together to elevate you. I have a friend a few days ago, and he said, Jillian, every time I come around you make me cry.
It is
He was
true.
grateful for it.
It's true.
He was grateful for it. It's like he was like, man, I needed that purge. And I realized how much stuff I lock inside of myself. And I was, and and it's like I'm at a space now where I'm not going along with certain programming, so it didn't bother me to see that man cry, make him masculine. It didn't make any of that. That's crazy to lock up these emotions in us, whether we be woman or man, and then to be healthy. The divine feminine is flow, and one things I began to experience so much as I began to allow the divine feminine to work through me was tears. I promise me the gift of the goddess is tears, because it's almost like crystallizing emotion can actually move emotion through your body. Shamanism teaches that dis-ease is actually emotions that we have not dealt with.
Yes.
Begin to lock into the tissues, deeper into the bones. Think about that again. Like, we're locking up these emotions, thinking that it's be hard. We need to be untrue to ourselves, right? It's always a quote unquote kind of sensitive person. It's amazing to me how many years growing up I heard that, and it's like I wanted to fight it.
Yes, you want to be strong.
I was like, I'm not person. So I would ignore certain things about how I felt, and then just to not be a quote unquote sensitive person and turn around and get my emotional butt whipped.
You know what I mean?
Why would I do that? Point. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But guess what? Sensitivity is so strong that it literally filtered out to other things beyond emotion. I began to feel the fact a rose vibrates a specific frequency, and it would lift. It would literally smell it, and it would get so strong that it could cause an orgasm in my body. This is my sensitivity. Now, when I walk out there, this is how I began to have information start to come to me. Grounding, right? We talk about grounding all the time, going outside. well, it's like my sensitivity needed to know why is that. So the body is full of positive ions and the earth is filled with negative. So when we
Mm,
go sit on stand barefoot,
yes.
we are balancing back the body. So this is why some people are so sensitive, right? They can even feel when it's getting ready to rain because there's a
Right.
bunch of
The
ionic
sensing
buildup.
that. Yes.
That is a survival technique. Certain tribes would use it to know they needed to go to higher ground.
Yes.
That
Yes.
sensitivity again is intuition for us
Mm-hmm.
to be able to move how we
Mm-hmm.
need to move, and
Mm-hmm.
we're denying sensitivity, not
Yes.
understanding when we higher ground
Mm-hmm.
to do
And
what?
we
To fit
and
in one time.
exactly, exactly. And some of us haven't even been taught about that. Some of us is like, yeah, is your gut feeling, is your intuition, but we weren't taught to elaborate. What does that mean? You know what I mean? A lot of people do not know those things. So then a situation happening, like, you know what? Something tell me that I shouldn't do that, but you know me, I stubborn and I did it, right? And it's like we need to reconnect with that intuition within ourselves. We definitely need to do that. And I felt in the last few days, right, after I asked her to do this podcast with me, usually when I ask people to do podcasts and I set a time, I am there on point always, right? And it got delayed. And I'm like, okay, no problem. You let it go because I don't really fuss about anything, right? And then the next day
Mhm.
we were to schedule, and I did not end up sending my stuff. I'm like, you know what? You are dealing with a very in tune lady. You are delaying this because you're not ready, but I don't know why you're not ready. And she may sense that as well. And this is why we're not connecting to do this. So today I got up, I'm like, okay, yeah, I feel it in my bones. This is it. This is it. So I sent it to her and she immediately responded, was like, yep, this is meant to be today. So she was talking about something earlier and she said that, remember she mentioned a guy came to her and you were talking and wanted to cry? What she mentioned, I wanted to cry. But I was like, you know what? You're doing this YouTube video and you cannot cry right now. But the message that she said to me earlier, I needed to hear, right? But I would not have received that message if I had done the podcast with her when we schedule that. So this is the thing that I tell people. If you realize that you set a timer, you want to do something, but it keeps getting delayed, it's because you're not ready for that information that you're supposed to get in that moment. So don't rush things. Let things go how it's supposed to go. Let it flourish. You're gonna miss the
Yeah,
whole point. And that is what I feel people do these days. And that's why I feel like people always are saying, man, if I had listened to myself, this wouldn't happen, right? Because you are rushing to get that answer, to get that thing that you missed the whole situation. Yeah. So let things go. Let things lead you where it's supposed to go. Don't overthink things. If you, and as we mentioned, if you do, you create that in your mind. Do not let your fear create your life. Basically. Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And it's amazing. Fear will cripple the mind. It really will. Um, so it's like, you know, it's funny because the energy of the divine feminine, the more I began to listen to it, I'll say it is a tough journey, like at first, because it
Mm-hmm.
was like it was almost like I was being shown the mirror of, I won't say what was wrong with me, but more of the things that I knew that I wanted to alter within my own energy. Just seemed like so much, you know what I mean, at sometimes. But
Mm-hmm.
then it's like began to work on one thing at a time. And
Mm-hmm.
then before I knew, it's like,
Something
is this what
else.
I was running from? Was I
Right.
nothing? It's like the mountain that I
Mm.
thought I perceived became a molehill. And I
Mm.
realized, like, it's not as difficult. It's
Nope.
not as hard. It's like
Mm-mm.
it's I don't know.
It's simple.
I'm literally amazed with myself. Yes, I'm
Trust
right. It's
me.
funny because maybe a year ago I began to start writing poetry.
Mm-hmm.
And there are Instagram page, Ophelia.octopus is where a lot of my poetry is. And there were days where it would pouring out of me so fast. If I didn't grab a pen and a paper, it's like I'm forgetting. It was just pouring out. But
Mm-hmm.
I had to get into the space of considering myself as an artist and a
Mm,
poet. When I did consider myself an artist, I was not producing art. So a lot of it, again, is the programming of what we think is available to us.
yes,
Um,
yes.
program ourselves, you know what? I'm not lovable. No one's gonna love me. I'm not, you're not loving yourself. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
experience that program you're vibrating
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
All it never does is that's it. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm still on a daily. I'm like in so much awe, but I feel like I could cry because
Nice, cool.
it's amazing, but it will just life. It is
Mm-hmm.
amazing how it will shift you.
Yes.
Um, the children, everyone in your org field
Mm-hmm.
will experience
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and like I said, I would say 90, literally 99% of my reactions are what would be counted as positive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I might ever now experience a person who is just not ready, like you said, for that
Yes.
space of healing, but
Yes.
it's affect mine and they go off. And I've even had people come back to me later on. Like I remember one day I made this post and oh, some people were very, really, really triggered by it. And this man came back to me months later and said, from that post, I realized something was wrong and I went into therapy.
Mm.
And I couldn't believe it.
Mm.
I was like, what? That's what I'm saying. It's like being connected to the response and result of something. Sometimes you don't even know. You won't
Mm-hmm.
even know what you did for that person. Left
Yes.
with the idea, you know what? The only thing that came out of this was this, and that.
Yes.
Not realizing did, even if it was one person, even if it was one,
Mm-hmm.
that's
That's it.
amazing. And if it was
Because
not amazing, I still stood in my truth and my space.
exactly. And what people don't understand, even if you touch one person that you know of, remember you touch one person, that one person is going to touch somebody else. And that train is going to keep flowing.
Yeah.
So never think about what, keep your vision to what you can see. Try and see past your vision. And then you will be able to understand the impact that you have on people. That's what I tell people. Always be responsible with your actions and what you say. Because what you say, somebody else is going to interpret their own way and use that to then give it to someone else. So you think that you're only influencing that person, but you're influencing that person, a whole school of other people as well. So we have to take responsibility of everything we say and do all the time. We are surrounded by people. And even if you're not surrounded by people, humans, adults, you're surrounded by children as well. So what you say around children, those children take, they sponge it and run
They
with it.
do, do.
Mm-hmm.
They They do. And right, so much of this, as we begin to undertake it as women, we begin to heal generational curses, right?
Yes.
Because how we decide that we're going to speak to our children and raise them up changes, from how it is that we were, what we experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like giving you the wisdom to
Yes.
understand, okay, this is what I want to see, right? I'm going to instill this feeling in them for them to understand their self worth all the time,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like children of mine now are experiencing the space where it's very open. My 14-year-old will come to me like every day and she'll be like, here's the tea. And she'll just sit and just tell so open. I'm like, man, there was so much I couldn't discuss with my parents. And right,
Yes.
I realize most of us have learned behaviors, and that's what most of us perpetuate until the light comes on and we decide to change it. So I'm
Yes.
grateful. I'm super grateful for the way I was brought up. I'm grateful for all
Mm-hmm.
of my experience, scarred any of it because I took it
Yes.
from it. But the fact that to have them have an open line of communication with me and feel right, I don't ever want to cut that off because
Yes.
now, they either have to gain the wisdom from just flopping in the mud and their face in the mud the way I did.
Right.
But that's what I always tell them. I'm trying to give you at a young age what I discovered late.
Yeah.
So you'll understand how you are, how raw you are. So, and that these are things we work on. You know, it's fine. It's fine. You know, you don't need to be perfect with me. I just want, you know, for you to be able to comprehend what's going on and to be able to make the decision yourself who it is you want to be and not be programmed who it is you're supposed to be. Then I'm fine with that.
Yep.
I'm fine with
I
that.
love that. I love that. Okay. So for us Black women, right? In a more systematic answer, because right now I know this conversation is going over certain people's head, right? So in a more systematic answer, right? How do we regain our sisterhood? How do we trust each other again? If you can, because I can't even think of a systematic answer at this point. So it'd be great if you can.
I think we begin to, again, love ourselves. And then we understand that community is powerful, right? I into things like sister circles of old, and connect with women that I felt, right, were vibrating. No one's saying that you need to go out there and just
Love everybody.
spread yourself. But right, you connect with people who are of like minds, and it flows, nurtures it, and it becomes stronger and stronger. And I think that the more of us that do this and really rock from our authenticity, it's going to create its own grid and get bigger and bigger anyways. Trust, I trust the divine feminine and the universe to do what it's powered enough to do.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I I I wasn't aware of you. I was so grateful when you hit me up to do this. I was like, what? Like, really? But here, here is a connection already.
Yes.
Me being in my and you being in the Caribbean.
Yes.
And that will kick off its own thing. And who knows what will come of this.
Yes.
Right? And then we would continue to grow the community bigger and bigger. I have to that I guess because I'm right, because I'm honest and authentic, and I'm very transparent. If I'm struggling with something, I say it.
So, yeah.
I say it. I've had men to come in my say, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? So when we work from our space of power, it draws community to us. It literally connects us. Connectivity, again, divine feminine. That being receptive is divine feminine.
Yes.
So I'm focusing on that is the more I'm experiencing women who are about their healing.
Yeah.
So is it wondering, is it really that we're few and far in between? It's that I just wasn't focused.
Right.
And staying within the wisdom to allow, right, everyone to have their expression and not need to
be too much.
I don't have an ideology of what the boxes are for an awakened woman or she shouldn't.
Yes.
I don't have
yeah, because if you have a box, then you're back in the system where everything is boxed and labeled. Oh, this is the steps to your healing. So this is it. No one experience the same steps to healing or to loving or to caring. We all have our own journey that bring us back to that one point. So it would make sense that you don't have one, but there isn't any. It's just go with the flow type of thing. Yeah.
It is. And I think, right, the more I look into those sister circles and what they provided, because like all of those women in the sister circle was exactly the same.
Yeah.
But they had to be able to face for the sister that loved to dance and and to be out there, and the one that was a little quieter. It's like there are shades of us, and what's amazing with us in all of us.
Yeah.
So it's like, honor that. I honor that
Mm-hmm.
in the next. And if I do encounter a woman who hasn't gotten to the space yet to honor that within me, because I love to dance, I would probably be I don't know, like a wild woman. When I go to the party, I'm the first one dancing
That.
because that's how the divine feminine moves me.
Thank you.
That is
Thank you.
how I express.
Yes.
It's so much of my poetry. It's like the same things that I feel like I was shamed for and locked up. Like for
Mm-hmm.
instance, my sensuality. I would write poetry about it and I would release it
Mm-hmm.
without and realize that is also a part of me being a woman.
Yes.
that is a part of my
Owning.
identity. Why
Yes.
should I be feeling
Yes,
shameful or locked
that.
up about it? But what it
Yes.
allowed me to begin practicing more self-control. So
Yeah.
now it's like even the even the caliber of men that are attracted to me, I've seen how it's changed since I changed how I felt about myself.
Yes.
Right? So again, it's like this is a space of honor and love, and that's what it is. And I don't know, like I'm experiencing that love is so powerful. It's either that or however many degrees away from that you are.
Right, right,
There's really
right.
nothing.
Nothing different.
It's just
Yeah.
that.
It really and truly is that. And why I really wanted to, I was having we were supposed to do a podcast and we didn't do the podcast, but I thought, oh, let's just talk and then, just to feel each other out. And we were talking and we sat down and we was just flowing. And all of a sudden I said, you know something? Before I came on this podcast with you, you would not believe that I decided to dress up. Even though we weren't recording, I decided that I wanted to put my hair a certain way and I wanted to make sure that I look a certain way. And for that moment, I questioned, I'm like, why do you feel the need to want to dress up for this female? But when you've done other podcasts with male, you had a normal sit down, you didn't put on anything. You just say, well, call me looking mad as hell. You know what I mean? But for this lady, you wanted to do that. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're going to make me cry. Don't say that. I was like, why? She said, you will not believe the same exact thing happened. And I'm like, wait. So this is a dynamic between females where they feel the need, like if I come to your house, I must clean my house because I don't want her to judge me, or I must look a certain way because I don't want her to judge me. We have created this unknown dynamic that we overworked ourselves to look perfect in another being eye, and it's something that we don't need to do. But she is 40 something years old, and she now realized this, and me at my 28 now realizes that is to show you the dynamic of pain in a sisterhood that we have had that we do not know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would think some people would think that she being 40 something she would know differently, but she doesn't. And me at 28 didn't even notice that. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter the age of pain. Pain is pain. It doesn't matter the age of insecurity. It is just
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So I said,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to call you, because then you pop in my head. I said, no, I'm going to have a divine feminine conversation, because I realize even though I'm focusing on men, if women heal their sisterhood with their sisters, relationship with men and other beings are going to be smoother. And that is the
Yes.
solution.
Yes. Yes. And I'm literally experiencing it. It's amazing.
Mm.
Right. It's like the focus on what it is I wanted to experience
Mm-hmm.
and then purposely focusing on that. And again, that focus was within myself.
Yes.
So it's like whatever is going on, I'm vibrating this. And so I just be, minding my business, creating, doing whatever for the day. And I'll get these messages, like I said, of like adoration or of men feeling like they are
Love.
literally on a journey of healing as well, and they see me as representative of the divine feminine.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. That's amazing. So I don't know. Again, right? It's like shifting my paradigm. I
Mm-hmm.
said one day I didn't want to go to heaven. I wanted to become heaven.
I love it.
That's the space that I keep around me. So it's like when
Mm-hmm.
someone else is through something, I don't internalize that, but that's taken
That's
like
right.
some time. You know, I will say that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Some effort for me to keep it in front of my head, Jill, that's not you. That's their stuff. Like,
Mhm.
keep focused on what you want to feel. And it's like now it's like second nature.
That,
You know what I mean?
yes.
Like you just like,
And
all
you've been
right.
at
So
this for
that's
like
that.
7 or 6 years.
Yeah. Um, so but like maybe the first two or three, I'll be honest, like I was really it's like I was learning the information, but I wasn't applying it all the
Applying.
time.
Mm.
Or I was giving
We're given what?
I was making a lot of excuses.
Ah,
It's like to stay in specific relationship dynamics
got
with people I
you.
could tell I was supposed to, because of fear. I was like afraid to be alone. I was afraid to, you know. And then it's like one day I was just like, no,
Enough.
no, no. This is like it's like that's insanity. It's like I know what to do.
Yes.
I'm not doing it.
Right.
And it's crazy. It's like sometimes we can create fear,
Mm-hmm.
and we oh man the story. Like I always say, the brain is a wonderful storyteller, but it doesn't mean that every
Tell
story
me
is
it's
telling you the truth.
true. Yes.
It's not. It's like
Mm-hmm.
we'll tell our stories and then make the thing so much bigger
Believe
or
me. Yes.
worse.
Over
So it's like
exaggerate.
yeah. So it's like once I began to experience like and become okay with my energy alone, I was like, okay, I'm actually a pretty
Doing
dope
good.
person. I love time with myself. And it's like it started from there. And then it's
Mm.
like now people love my company and enjoy that because this is how I am
It's
all the
you.
time.
Yes.
Like a lot. I want to experience the best of it. I'm going
Yes.
to mirror your positive stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
will we don't start ignoring what
Mm-hmm.
is called so-called shadow,
Yeah.
but I just point them back to their power all the time. I
Yes.
always point people back to their power.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the power to do this. Or what this is showing you is this. Or could you
Yes.
consider it from this point? And
Yes.
it's freeing, man. So
Mm-hmm.
freeing.
And it's
Can't beat
good.
it.
It's good that we as women can apply positivity into a conversation. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, "Man, go along so with daddy, you know what you're doing," or you leave him because of this. You know, that type of conversation in a relationship where it could be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Have you considered that you are putting out this vibe that is creating this energy right now within this moment in this conversation? Have you considered that maybe this person have a point? You know what I mean? Because have you considered that this moment is a teaching moment for you? That's why you keep repeating your cycle. Like these are the kind of conversation we should have with people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Life.
And that's exactly like the point I was saying. It's like
Yes.
that became such a powerful question for me when
Mm-hmm.
somebody would say something to me, trigger me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would get in instant defensive mode.
Yes.
It was my brother that taught me. He said, if you have the ability to stop for 1 second and say, is there a possibility that this thing is true?
Right?
Oh my God, that
That's
changed my
good.
life.
Yes.
Because I was like, is it true that I'm sensitive?
Right.
And it was like once I finally faced it, I was like, yes, Jill,
You
you're
are.
sensitive. But that's okay. You are sensitive. And like I said, like that thing took me so far.
Wow.
Now I have DMing me asking me, how do I get more sensitive? The very thing I was running
Running
from
from.
and afraid of is like I love it. I feel like I don't know. I'm always like, where am I? Because the what I'm experiencing from the rays of the sun, I'm like, this place is always communicating. Vibrations are real. I feel them. So it's like again, maybe the thing that we're fighting and running away from is the thing that is
Us.
what's so unique and amazing about us.
Mm-hmm. And that is
So,
it. That is it. Okay.
yeah. But I
Okay.
appreciate it.
No problem. But question: would you come back again? I would love to have you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I love this conversation. I am literally trying not to cry. I am so very serious because this is so refreshing. Like this is why I feel like I want to cry, because I know that this information is going to be able to bring awareness to female, and I can see and envision the type of relationship that this conversation is going to create in other female. You know what I mean? And that dynamic that is going to be is going to be beautiful. That is why I try not to cry. So I cannot wait to put this out. Yes, I cannot wait to put this out. And just to say why I feel like this is a conversation we need to have, I was creating this group on Facebook. This not Facebook, for YouTube. YouTube support. Like put your podcast on YouTube here. We're gonna follow. We're gonna listen. You know, we're gonna advertise your page. So I started to write to a lot of females, right? And I was like, hey, would you be interested? Blah, 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 blah. And a few of them see it, they didn't respond. And a few of them was like, yeah, add me. And this one girl, this is White Tano, she was like, I can't do that. She's from Trinidad in the Caribbean as well. She said, I can't do that, but I am going to go watch your page, but I do not feel comfortable being in a group with women. And that just touched me. I was like, oh my gosh, I can only imagine. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, yeah.
Oh, right. And I was like, I could only imagine the relationship that she had, that she is so skeptical. You know what I mean? But she went and she watched the video and she's like, oh my gosh, thank you for doing that topic. I like the topic. And she started telling me about herself and stuff like that. But I was like, you know what? Women need to heal. They need to heal in order to heal others. So, Divine Feminine. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
My pleasure. And maybe next time we can go into like some of the exercises that I did, of the books that I read.
Yes.
You know, because right, again, this is something that you begin to take on.
2 books.
Okay, so I began to look into emotional freedom tapping. And right. So it's amazing to me that we have these epic machines, but we don't really know how to use them. Some people, they get a headache, they find out why they have a headache, they just take me for the I'd rather understand what my body is communicating. So with mudras, I began to look them up and realize there are little finger positions. Finger positions. Hold, sitting, breathing deep for 10 minutes, and it would change my energy. I was amazed. I was like, oh my, now I'm the mudra mommy. Like, sometimes I'm serious. It's funny. It's become like I said, literal second nature. Sometimes somebody's talking to me, and if I feel myself like drifting off or not, it's like I'll hit a mudra and it allows me to concentrate and keep my energy in while they're talking. I'll sit with my palms open, deep, right? If you've ever seen somebody having a panic attack, that's their mind told them there's no, now you can't breathe. This is how sick we are. So I notice now, like, right, I spend my time breathing deep and how calm I just be chilling. Like literally oxygen is considered a drug, right? I've seen what oxygen can do to a person, and I've seen what little oxygen can do. So it's like literally to have these breathing exercises, and you could even see it in my face. My eyes would get low, almost like I had or something. I was so calm. My nerves were calm. I could respond in a more calm manner. I could stop and think about what I was going to say before I responded. Oh my, I'm like, this is fire.
This is it. Orgasmic type of thing.
Yes. I feel like that's what our natural state is, right? The anxiety, all of that stuff. Naturally, like in an orgasm, I tell people everything is aligned, body, mind, and spirit. It don't matter what's going on at that time during an orgasm. That's all it is.
Yep.
It's just, that's all it is.
Yep.
It'll be right after your mind goes whatever, but during that time, that's all it is.
Yes.
So I That's right. Without actually being in the act, I could create a state of orgasmic energy constantly, and it is very magnetic. It's very magnetic. I'm telling you, that state there is what will drive manifestation, your creativity, like-minded people. It's amazing. Yeah,
I love it.
definitely going to.
So two books
So,
that you've read that you think women should be interested in right now.
okay, so there's one, You Are Woman, You Are Divine.
Okay.
I think her name is Renee Starr. But what this was, oh man, this was, I started to get goosebumps.
Look, it's there too.
Oh my goodness. It's a book about the different myths of the goddess, or versions of myths, right? Like Yamaya, Lilith, Eve. But every time I read one of these myths, it changed the lesson in it, and right, and how many different energies a woman is, right? We are fire. We are everything. Oh man, it's amazing.
I can get it.
One of the books that. Yes, and then this other one I'm actually reading right now, and it's called Warrior Goddess Wisdom.
Ooh, that's not exciting.
And already I can feel myself
change
to more and more of my power on a daily basis. I said, like, being in this energy is so magnetic. I've had the absolute blessing to be able to still be blessed with income, even the way things are. I began creating Orgon, right? They can look up Orgon, or
you mean that thing that you're advertising that looks like a pyramid? Yes, I want one. Yes.
My goodness, love to. I love to create for you, and it's amazing. It's like when I started out, like I said, I just didn't count myself as being a creative person at all. The gifts we will find in there, sitting. I feel like I could cry in our authenticity.
Yes.
There we are, amazing creatures, and we just need to allow ourselves to be that. And what that does is it filters negative energy to positive energy. Just amazing. So I mean, it's like I feel like literally like this is just beginning for me. I feel like, because now I see myself on different levels. What I'm attaching to, what is available for me is different, and it's crazy. It's like people have just begun to start to order so much. They're supporting me. They're supporting my first book. I have a book.
Yo, okay, what is that book name?
Okay, so it's called Jill's Guide to Surfing the Universe.
All right, Jill's Guide to Surfing the Universe.
Yes, I'm going to send the link to your inbox when we're done. But it's just it's not long at all, but it was how I kept my energy up even when things look like they it's just little ways that I found to program my mind, and it's funny because it's like if we're looking for this to be an instantaneous thing, for me, I didn't experience it that way. But it's like things that I wrote down, things that I was thinking about maybe 2-3 years ago, I'm seeing them start to manifest now. So it's like I would say, you know what, stay in the energy, cultivate it, feel how real it is. We begin to see ourselves. Well, it's amazing.
Yes, I love that. Enjoy this conversation. Oh my gosh, I really did. So I would like to have you back. I am going to get these books, and because my boyfriend and I were saying that we needed one of those, right? We wanted to get a Shanghai, right? But then someone said one of those stones blocks negative energy, etc., etc. So I was like, I don't know where to get it. But then I saw you advertise it a few weeks or days later. I was like, okay, so yes, I'm gonna ask her. So where do we order them? And do you ship to the Caribbean? Because I am Barbados. That is the thing.
Yeah, I can ship there.
Okay.
I'm actually starting to get a lot of requests to ship internationally. So I'm like, oh my goodness, my organs all over the world. That's amazing. Um, so yeah, you can my Facebook page right now. I'm going to be creating a website soon, but
Okay.
right now my Facebook page it's the Odd Octopus.
Right.
Or you can just send me a DM message
Right.
on my Instagram or my
Mhm.
Facebook. On my Instagram, it's Ophelia.octopus,
Got it.
and on Facebook, it's the Odd Octopus.
Got it.
And I create generally by either meditating on a person's energy, but if you have specific color
That you
themes you want to
like.
use, that's fine too.
I
So,
like it.
but yeah, I'll electromagnetic frequencies, electro low frequencies, and like I said, it also raises the sexual energy because that is actually our life force. It's the same
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
Very interesting. We've been taught to shame that. I think it
Mhm.
should be used properly,
Yeah.
but I don't attach it to
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's
Yes.
amazing. Like I'm they help you to sleep better. They heal the body on a plasma level. They can look it up
Wow.
or organite, but it's amazing.
Wow. I can't wait to get mine. I cannot wait to get mine because we sleep with our Wi-Fi box off, but because I get visions, right? My family have this gift and
Yes.
we get visions and we see stuff. So when the Wi-Fi box is off and I have dreams, I'm able to see clearly. But when it's on and I sleep, my head hurts me. When I get up, I'm so exhausted. Right? So I would love, we were gonna get the Shanghai, but things shut down, so we weren't able to go back to the Kai. So now that you were able to ship, we're going to get one from you instead. So this is
Oh,
fantastic.
awesome. Thank you.
Yes, we're gonna,
you.
cause the
Thank
guy is
you.
not back out, so we're just gonna get you this all around awesomeness that you have going on, and we're gonna get you one. So I can inbox you, you tell me the price, and then we're gonna figure out how to get money to you, and then we can go from there. And go from there.
All right.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. I'm
You're very
grateful. I
welcome.
look
Thank
forward to
you.
having this conversation. Thank
Yes,
you.
please. So thank you so much for this conversation. Oh my gosh. And I cannot wait till we do this again. I have, I'm just going to end it, but don't hang up. So guys,
Okay.
comment, please follow her on her pages. She really do awesome things. Okay, as you can see, I don't need to explain anything else, right? So please follow her on her page. Buy those, what do you call it? I will call them a pyramid, but that's not the name.
Orgone pyramids.
Orgone, right. Please buy those pyramids from her. They are really, really good. I'm going to order mine and you guys are going to see me post mine as well. So please get some from her. Support her, buy her book. I'm going to get it as well. And the other two here. Next time she comes, I'm going to ask her for some other ones and we're going to go from there so we can be able to create a great feminine, divine feminine within our community. Thank you so much for coming. So much. And have a great day, everyone. Bye, guys.
Peace, everybody. Wholeness.
Hey you, yes you. So thank you so much for watching my video and I hope that you enjoyed the video and thank you so much for coming to my page. So I would like for you to subscribe and I also want you to watch the last video and I hope that you enjoy everything on my channel. Thank you.